can all stand for the pledge real quick. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of
of the United States of America,
and
to the republic
and
for which it stands,
Stands.
one nation, under
God.
God,
One nation
indivisible,
under
with
God,
liberty and
indivisible,
justice for
with
all.
liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any public comment? Cool. Approval of the minutes from March 18th. Anybody want to make a motion?
Sure.
Motion by John, is there a second? Second by
Second.
John Heleniak. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Cool. New business. The COVID-19 pandemic, can we get anything from that? All right.
Anything,
Mike.
Mike, or not?
Just in time.
Mike Matuszewski, I mean.
Yeah, he just signed on.
Okay.
Mike, you have anything on the COVID-19 pandemic?
No.
Anything on the what?
The COVID-19 pandemic?
Try that again. Think things are working now.
The COVID-19 pandemic? Do you have any updates on that?
Mask updates are changing. Basically, just what the news has.
right.
CDC's changed their guidance. Things are getting better as far as opening things up. Moving in the right direction, it sounds like.
Sounds good. Well, we got you the construction update.
I sent that out. Everybody see it?
Yes.
Do we have any
Are
questions
there
for
any
Mike on that?
questions? Other than what's on there, I do have a couple things to add, not necessarily just to that report, but deal with construction updates. I just want to give actually an update to Montgomery Chemicals. Even though it's not construction, it's actually dealing with more or less destruction, hopefully. As you're all aware, Montgomery Chemicals has ceased operations of their manufacturing as such. However, they still exist. I sent something out several months ago to the chiefs, letting them know that there are still chemicals on site. Jim Wallace and I stopped out there last week, at the end of last week, to meet with representatives. And just so everybody's aware, the large tanks that are in the back, the tank farm that they have in the back, has been emptied of all product. DEP has already given their sign off, and they're no longer regulated by DEP because all the products that are back there have been cleared out. Most of those tanks are, as they put it, scrubbed and cleaned. There are 3 big tanks that are cleaned, but since they took the tops off, they collect rainwater and they haven't pumped out periodically, but those have not been scrubbed yet. What scrubbed means, my understanding is they actually get in there and it's devoid of chemicals. They use other chemicals to actually clean them out and such. They're in the process of actually working on trying to get all that equipment out of there. They're trying to sell it rather than just getting it for scrap metal. They're trying to find other chemical companies who can actually use those tanks and repurpose them. So that's what they're trying to do. But they are working on getting all that equipment out of there. The fire suppression system for the back of that is going to be decommissioned since all the chemicals in the farm itself are now gone. They are decommissioning that. They worked with codes last week, and that's in the process of doing. They'll be submitting some paperwork as far as what changes they need to make for that. However, again, there is still hazardous materials on site. They are no longer Title III, but they are still have to report some stuff for Title II, we believe. And in addition to that, when I met with them last week, I requested, besides what they have to do for government reporting, I wanted a list of all chemicals they still have on site. I don't care what quantities they are. They do have 2 big tanks of sodium product. And that's the stuff you cannot put water on if there's a fire. One is inside, it's the old tank rail car that's actually sitting inside still. and the other one is a intermodal. It's outside the building. Neither one of those are full. They're estimating there's thousands of gallons each one. They can't just empty the product out. They're looking to have somebody to buy the product so they can empty it out that way. And that's where they're going with that. If they have to empty the product out, they have to put other things in. There are 2 tanks on the side for nitrogen gas. So it's compressed nitrogen. They use that for the sodium tanks. So that because they have such a gap at the top of the tanks, they keep pumping nitrogen in there to offset the gases so they won't have a bigger problem. So they're going to be live until they finally get the other products out of there. They are contained, they are secure, and they're not doing anything else with the tanks. So they're basically capped off and just sitting there. But they can't actually get rid of them or move them until they do something else with the product. Again, they're working on that. There are a bunch of totes that are about 275 gallons. There's a bunch of totes in there that are mineral oil, and they have several other totes that are waste oil, as they've been using different products. The mineral oil is still used because, again, they have the sodium there and they have some other products there. The mineral oil is used to layer off the top of it. So they all still have those products in there. They're looking to sell off what they can of that, and they'll still keep some on site just to make sure they can top off some of the other chemicals they have until they're all gone. So there's still a bunch of stuff on site. The other thing I actually asked them for last week was I want a new updated plan for the building to show where all the different things are being stored. Granted, a lot of totes, so they can move stuff around, but I want to know where everything is in relation to the last plans we had from years ago, which obviously stuff has changed since then. The last thing we had to update on that was, in addition to totes, there's probably, I don't know, tens and tens of, probably not 100, but not far from that, empty totes there. There are a bunch of totes they used to have. They have been emptied out and scrubbed, most of them, and a lot of them actually had the tops cut off. They start using them instead of bringing dumpsters in. They cut the tops off and they're using them to throw trash and all in garbage, and they get them hauled away. So this way they don't have to rent a dumpster. They just rent those and they actually get them hauled away. There is a stack of totes that has not been scrubbed yet. They are empty, but not scrubbed. They're all around the sides and the back. So if you see any totes around outside, they're the empty ones. The full ones are actually the ones inside the building. So I just want to bring everybody up to speed on that. It's not on the construction update, but I think it's a very important thing we got to know as far as buildings going to be in our area.
All right. Any questions for Mike? Cool. Chris, Police Department?
I've got a couple of things from Chief Merciades. Personnel-wise, Officer Troy Lockenmeyer was hired May 10th. He's 22 years old, comes to us as a recent graduate of Delaware County Community College's Police Academy. Also a graduate of Delaware Valley College with a degree in criminal justice, and he'll be assigned to A Squad under Sergeant Wilhelm. The May 10th council meeting, Officer Ransom was honored as the Officer of the Year. Officer Ransom works in the patrol division, officer in charge of the A Squad, member of Montgomery County SWAT, defensive tactics instructor, member of the drug task force, and recently finished a rotation in the criminal investigations division. Outside of that, he's a member of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard and served 2 combat tours in Iraq. Sergeant Hager, the highway/administrative sergeant, has announced his retirement effective May 31st, 2021, retiring after 20 years of service to Plymouth Township and 5 years of service in Norristown. Interview process, Sergeant Anthony Costello has been transferred from the patrol division to the highway administrative sergeant position, supervising the highway unit, K-9 unit, and the training officer. From an operational standpoint, with the closure of Chemical Road and the schools returning to in-person instruction, we've seen an uptick in traffic complaints in the neighborhoods near Chemical Road, as well as our school zones. The chief has deployed officers daily on traffic details in both the neighborhoods and each school zone to help slow traffic down and ensure the safety of our residents, students, and motoring public. Saturday, April 24th, we participated in the drug take-back day with the Montgomery County DA's office. Just our community community policing officer Mark Lacey received 83 pounds of medication during the 4-hour event, and collectively the county was able to take in over 7,200 pounds of unwanted medications. On April 28th, we donated 20 bicycles that were recovered or abandoned in the township over the course of normal patrol duties. They were recovered. They've gone unclaimed and were never reported lost or stolen, and we were unable to identify the owners. They were donated to the Norristown Rotary Club, who is partnered with Pedals for Progress, which refurbishes the bikes and sends them overseas to villages, who uses them for their main mode of transportation. National Police Week was celebrated May 9th through the 15th. We'd like to thank our partners within the township, as well as our residents and businesses in the community, for their ongoing support, not only that week, but throughout the year. We will, of course, be participating in Township Day, assuming that's still on. And the Police Association will also be holding our annual Officer Brad Fox Memorial Golf Outing in October, with the date still to be determined. That's all I have.
Any questions for Chris? All right. John, Harmonville?
Only two things for Harmonville with the closure of Chemical Road and Mutual Aid coming down into the upper Plymouth area. We did add our next to engine on all building fire, commercial and non-commercial fires. We do have an extra engine coming since Mutual Aid's a little delayed coming down Chemical Road. And the only other thing is I've talked to Chief Merciades, Chief Trugansky, and Chief Leniak, and we all plan to do the 4th of July drive through the township parade again this year. So we'll be coordinating that this month. We'll get more details out to everybody. But Karen, if you, Bramley, if you can pass on the council, we would love to have them involved in the 4th of July parade again. We always have a seat for you, so you can blow the siren and hit the horn again. All right. And then
Thank you.
we'll hope to make that. We'll get that out to the public through our social media and all that kind of stuff. So we'll hopefully make that another big, event. So that's all I got.
Any questions for John? All right. John, Plymouth?
I wasn't at last month's meeting. I apologize. No, we're still getting things together. Obviously, it's we're halfway through the middle of the year. We're just through the transition of old administration, new administration. So the only things we have coming up are we'll be participating in Township Day. We are expecting the delivery of a new command vehicle based off of our apparatus replacement plan. That's due at the end of, I believe, June. We're supposed to take delivery of that. So hopefully we'll have that by summer's end in service and our old fleet sold off. So, and then we on, what is it? June 19th, Saturday, June 19th, we're partnering with Serve Pro of King of Prussia. We're going to be holding a shredding event outside in our parking lot on Caldwell Lane from 10 a.m. to, I believe it's 1 p.m. So we're getting that out through our social media. I know Serve Pro's been getting those things out to like local businesses. We have some flyers down at our firehouse. We can certainly drop them off to anybody who would like some or to want to pass them out. But if you guys have anybody that you know, your neighbors that need shredding after this quarantine and all, we're going to be having that event on the 19th of June. It's a Saturday. So that's all.
Was that if we know our neighbors need shredding? Can we shred our neighbors?
You might have to ask Serve Pro. They're pretty good at cleanup, but like I said, it's going to be for a few hours. We'll have some trucks out, making a nice little event, and hopefully some people will come out. So again, if you know anybody or if you want some flyers, we have some down the firehouse. We can get them dropped off to you, but that'll be that Saturday in June.
Did you say that was from 10 to 1, John?
Yeah, it's on our social media. I'm double checking
Okay.
now. Yes, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They'll have the trucks there early enough. We're keeping everybody distanced. It's out in the parking lot, and we'll have some of our personnel there. Obviously, Serve Pro's personnel will be there, so we'll keep it moving. Traffic shouldn't be too bad coming in and out of the lot. So hopefully it'll be a nice little event.
Thanks.
Any questions for John? All right. Tom, Plymouth Ambulance?
Brandon, I think you send emails out. If you
Yes.
do, I didn't get the email for the Zoom link.
I'm sorry. I'll make sure you're added into the group.
Nothing really for Plymouth Ambulance. Last COVID vaccination was this past Sunday. And I think we did 700, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're thinking of maybe doing some stuff during the week for the age groups of 12 to 15, maybe for like the Little League team for Plymouth Township and East Norton, West Norton, but that's yet to be decided. We're trying to work on that and see if we can get the vaccinations. Seems like the vaccinations have fallen off a lot. People either got them or nobody wants to get any more. So when it comes to vaccinations, if you didn't get them, let me know, and we'll make arrangements for you to get a Pfizer vaccination if you need one. Other than that, nothing really going on. John, good work on that parade for the 4th of July.
All right. Any questions for Tom? Any miscellaneous? Any old business? Next meeting is July 15th. Any audience participation?
Question about the next meeting. I was talking with Linda today about just bringing up the topic. She put some a questionnaire out to see if we wanted to go in person again. I know she got some responses back of people were okay with it, or it didn't matter to several people, but she didn't hear back from several people as well. So we're still doing online. I think this might be a good time for us to talk about whether or not we continue doing it online, or we want to go back to in person for next meeting, or do we want to wait a little longer?
I'm good for a meeting in person. I tried to email back, but every time I do, I always get the undeliverable. Apparently the township thinks that my email is spam and rejects it. So
Council's in person, so I'm fine with in person.
I guess good question will be, does anybody object?
there you go.
I'd say, yeah, if
Back in
everybody's good
person.
with us, go back in person then.
Yep.
Karen, what are your thoughts? Not to put you on
Um,
spot.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine if we go back in person. One thing I guess we're gonna have to, council already discussed this, is they're going back in person. Come September, the township building will be under renovation. So, we'll have to maybe kind of play it month by month, but at some point we may have to move over to the community center, or, find another venue for our meetings. We'll have to
Karen,
move because we'll be under.
Could we offer, I mean, I know Harmerville would offer to host a meeting, and I'm sure
Yeah, that-
Plymouth would, and, Plymouth
would-
Amos has a meeting room.
Yeah,
And I'm sure
that'd
we
be
could have
great.
plenty of spots to do that if we had to.
Yeah, I didn't want to suggest that, but yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean-
Yeah,
I
That
know
would
our
be
guys would be
fine.
fine with it.
Yeah, we'd be
Okay.
fine.
okay. Yeah, great. So what we can do, if we can go back in person, I mean, July 15th will be fine at the township building. The next one would be September. And if, it's possible that could be the last one, maybe not. But as we approach that September date, why don't we talk? And thank you for the offers, and we will take you up in the next year and the year and a half to maybe get these meetings finished up, before the building's all renovated. Things are moving along very well for that. They got some good rates locked in for the township renovation. They do need to add more wells. I don't know if Karen Bramble had heard that yet. They went back up to 40. Now it was 35. Well, it was 50, then it was 35. Now it's 40 wells. But it's supposed to go out to bid on June 8th, I think, or 11th, some early June. The
Where are they
project
gonna
goes out
fit
to
all
bid.
those wells?
They're all in the ground, between, essentially behind my office and the Public Works building.
Uh-huh.
And also over, more like, I guess, behind where that cooling tower is, and just heading straight back. There's some dotted lines on the plan of where the well field will be. The wells will be 40 wells. They'll be at least 10 feet apart. They'll be 350 feet deep, and they will be covered again by dirt, maybe a couple feet of dirt, as all the leaders come into the building. Manifold, I think they put about 8 or 10 of these well pipes into a manifold, and then that comes into the building. So, but it's moving along well, and yeah, it should be out to bid in 3 weeks. So, we're borrowing well, up to $18 million. I sure hope it doesn't cost more than 15 million, but we're able to make the first borrowing was like $9.7 million. And then we'll wait till we get to about February, March, and we'll figure out how much more we need to borrow to finish the project. But everything's moving along very quickly and very well, sticking to schedule, which is great. And, I think the total construction is 15 to 18 months, so it'll be a while. But it's all good. Get rid of all the asbestos in the building. Apparently, there's a lot more than we thought, so, because that was all just tested. So we'll get it up to date.
Great.
Yeah. And I guess Chris Schwartz, are you still there? Chris?
I'm here.
Yeah, so would Andy Moretti be the best one to talk to about the antennas on the rooftop, for all your radios and cameras? Is that Andy now or somebody else?
I will find out tomorrow. I believe Sergeant Costello is picking up that process,
Okay,
radios, but I'll find out tomorrow and email you.
okay, great. Because we have to take, we're getting a new roof. They're going to take the second roof off. We're going to go down to the first roof. Obviously, we have to maintain your communications at all times. But we were talking about that today and the possibility of either replacing it on the roof, but it will be a couple feet lower than it is today. So we have to figure out if that's going to work, or possibly needing a separate little pole or an antenna, a monopole or something to put them on. And we still haven't figured that part out yet, but we were talking about it today. We have to speak with somebody in your department who knows all about, which of that parabolic antenna has to have direct actual sight line to the water tower, that kind of stuff. Somebody who knows all that.
I
So we
will
can-
find out in the morning.
Okay, great. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right. Is there any audience participation? Somebody like to make a motion to adjourn? Motion by John Hoffman. Is there a second? Second by Mike Matuszewski. Any questions on the motion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Opposed? See you all on July 15th. Have a good night.